And they've gamble rotated to B, OpTic making the right call again.
Yeah, they're in an incredibly good position.
Still up.
Unless it's just wallbang them straight out initially. Now they're set up and ready to try and use this paranoia to give them that extra space back, but a lot of this now relies on Ye. Luckily, he is someone you can rely on.
Managed to get rid of the recon at least, but with Finesse going down in mid, this is getting scary and none of the shots are hitting. Ye has to do it all, he'll get it though.
Like, you have players waiting on the edge to almost try and avoid a lot of this utility and avoid the null command. The spray through from Finesse as well is almost just delaying them. The main surprise is 2 players within the back of the site. Now they're going to spot the first, and they know that Ye's here because he's already managed to find himself a kill, or at least put a player down.
Nothing else to be found by him. crashies tries to step it up, but is dealt with, and that flash, beautiful. Finesse had nowhere to go. Victor and Marved left with it all to do, and despite that early shock dart, tagging up a bunch of players, doing a whole lot of damage. The stack being on B, 2 players in back site being a surprise for Loud. They managed to overcome every obstacle in this. And I honestly think this comes back to comfort. You see this team, they're not a bad team. They've got the adjustments, they've got the leadership to have some really, really clean execute rounds. The problem was on Fracture, they just could not get a read on how OpTic were playing. It was a completely different approach to Valorant in general than what they were ready for. This time around though, obviously we go back to more of a normal level of Valorant.
They're playing against their own comp.
Well, exactly, right? Yeah, exactly. I didn't even think of that. That's a great point. You are intimately familiar with everyone on Loud side. They just need to deal with this re-aggression. Actually, OpTic picked up the pace quite quickly, moving in towards the site, grabbing themselves a couple of kills. This is getting a little bit worrying now for Loud, as the frags are really swinging OpTic's way. Caught with an arrow out, not a chance for good old Sacy. And so OpTic...
What just happened?
They take a second round, they get 4 rifles walking out of it. That was unpredictable, let's say.
Yeah, the game.
Yeah, the key thing for OpTic in this map seems to be, oh my god, how many players have pushed up here? aspas doesn't get away, now he's naded in the corner, he's trying to stay above it. He'll at least survive a moment longer, but he has no way out, and he's taken down by Victor's aggression. OpTic, they will not let these guys feel comfortable. Disruption is the name of the game. That's what I was going for to talk about the previous round, and we got an example right off the bat in this one.
Yeah, it's the same sort of stack-up play that they went for in the previous round, but obviously it wasn't spotted in the last one, so they can just do exactly the same thing again with the rifles, and yeah, they're unrelenting in their pressure. Just straight up pushing them through, making sure that there's no trades because of the paranoia they threw back a little bit later on. And while for Loud, they're still trying to pressure a site that currently has 3 players within it, so getting into it is going to be incredibly difficult.
40 seconds or thereabouts. As you said, 2 players back site. You've got another in the form of Victor up above. His utility's gone. No flashes to play with, at least, and Marved is down. Okay, Loud might have a way in. They still need to deal with these players. And the Hunter's Fury comes through for 2. pANcada was in danger of going down. Utility falls to nothing. The paranoia not going to get them what they wanted. They're being slowed down to try and allow the mid push to come through. But the explosion out of Loud is perfectly timed. They take the space, the duels going their way, and Finesse can't even get out of there. Beautiful.
Yeah, really nice take. Again, Saadhak's flashes, I think, left Victor completely blind twice on the way through, and then they combine that with a Hunter's Fury to make sure there's no like cheeky little spots that can be left unclear as they make their way through to the site. Going from the last few rounds that we've seen from Loud, where it is
either, at least in the early rounds somewhere, so they avoid as much as they can.
Bye-bye,
Loud not so lucky. And the turret was watching for it. Oh, Les will even catch him through the smoke. Gorgeous stuff.
They're not quite quick enough. And now they're actually going to use the lockdown off of that because there isn't going to be a counter on the other side. They can opt to try and force the players back. Aggressive push from Ye, though, at least equalize this thing as they make their move. And while they're going to try and do some damage on the way through. In fact, it's the shotgun kill. And crashies just runs in. He's taken down down 3 in a matter of seconds, and Marved shuts things out. Down on the other side of the map, almost to try and like bake them into continuing this push. The fact is, though, they've still managed to get that opener. The corner, it's going to be checked, and well, Victor's managing to get one. Ye is still here, Marved alongside him, combining, but he's now getting spammed out of that corner, having to try and re-aggress and take control. Finesse uses that to make a play. The paranoia so perfect out from him. It leaves pANcada left, and now he's able to use the From the Shadows to make it to the other side. This will likely give him an afterplot, but he's been matched. Marved has done exactly the same thing.
So already here, making his way through the alley, but he's going to just pump the brakes. This is a containment ultimate, knowing now that this player has to be on the site. There's nowhere else they could have gone. Now, FNS already used the lockdown. They got 3 players. An incredibly tough position for pANcada to play from, and OpTic are waiting, hoping that he gets impatient and makes a move. Eventually, though, time is going to force them forward. The updraft's out of Ye. He comes up and over the site, clearing out everything. They know that he's on the back. pANcada trying to hold on. He'll get 1, 2, in fact, pANcada has clutched it out. 5-5. That is the round that Loud needed.
Wow. What?
Starting to take a peek. Feels the space out. This is so smart from Ye. He's already caught 1, looking for a little bit more, but he can't get the reload off on time. Well, I was going to say they concede the control. Marv just stepped out and took another, and that's the numbers still in OpTic's favor. They're delaying with the Nano Swarm on B main. The turret already taken down. They're closing in on the site here on the Loud side and the 1-for-1 trades, but do they know that crashies is already here?
They do now. They've managed to catch him out. They know that there's a couple of players here, but Saadhak, well, he's got 50 seconds to try and isolate one of these duels. He's still expecting players to be in mid. They were flanked from there earlier in the round, but he's having to take the time to clear it out, and just look at the timing of Marved. It is perfect. He comes up with a triple for the round out from the other side. Like, they have known that this is going to be battle for. It doesn't necessarily they can do too much about it.
Almost looked like that nade disappeared.
Oh,
the shocks are in. See what I mean? Taking the risks, right? You manage to get that orb, you get the Blade Storm. aspas can barely afford to dash through that utility. He'd probably go down to it. Paranoia for backside, though, is perfect. crashies under a lot of pressure right now. This is looking a little bit scary. They're picking up the kills even still. Finesse taken down. They know that crashies is in the corner and he won't be able to get anything more done. The flank again from Ye. He knows he has an opportunity on the player inside of Market. Ooh. Horn. Still, Sacy goes down. Okay, we're into the 2v2 with less on 11 HP.
They've got to be careful of the man in the site. pANcada already having one hero play in this round, but the weaponry advantage is definitely there at the moment for OpTic, just trying to hit the timing on this peak together, but they won't be able to clear that close corner, and they have to almost try and make this move through the smoke. They're going to hear the footsteps running, but it's all left down to Les. First headshot, he can't quite get the last. It will be the half going in favor of OpTic. A scrappy one, a back and forth one, and we definitely have a game on our hands.
Much better face out of Loud right here, though. Out with more aggression out of them. Fighting for middle, though. Loud are doing exactly the same, and they blitz through and surprise their opponents, leaving crashies alone, and he won't get it done. 7-6.
Okay.
Pistol round for... Ooh. Not quite working, not quite going as far up as they wanted. Good pick out of aspas. Up against opponents with no shields to play with here. Essentially has an operator to work with, and look at him making it work left, right, and center. 3 kills, make it 4 in the end. That's how you get away with them. Gonna respawn on the other side. They've already taken the space on B, pushing up close to the spawn. 1 kill at least for Les, but now he's under so much pressure. Both sides of the map have been lost here. He can be pushed on from every angle. What? pANcada with a blind shot through the wall. Puts Loud into a pretty winnable position at this point. Trading it back and forth, leaving Finesse alone, and aspas will get that done. 8-7, great dash in. It's the fight over for B main, and it's not going well. The Spectre comes through to save the day at least.
It kind of worked. I guess Saadhak is still pushing. I don't think they were expecting the second man to be there, but yeah, it's just tapping heads as they peek him. Every single member falling to this man, and you know what? aspas decides, I don't fancy that. I don't want that heat.
Sacy hoped that he could catch them off on the mid peak, but that has not worked either, and aspas, I don't know how he's the man alive. The guy who dashes down, misses his whole Blade Storm inside a B connector. And then he's still alive in a 1v3. 70 health to play with, and he might have a glowing gun, but look, this would be one hell of a round to clutch out.
Yeah, they have all the information. Yay, watching is not going to give anything up. Doesn't really have a reason to try and overpeak this one, and almost just trying to waste time, bait him into a swing that he just can't win, and the other two players have got their crossfire in position ready for him to try and make a move. This is just time wasting on the other side of things, and aspas, he can't just give up this position. It will be crashies to swing and find the round, and OpTic, well, almost caught
aspas to get into position, but I imagine a smoke is coming through. It's a cloud burst, in fact. Paranoia catches Yay, that's a big mistake. OpTic have to slow it down. Yay not able to get the shot, but Marved follows up, cleans it up. pANcada still alive. 2 players in heaven coming in to help. This is starting to get a little ridiculous. OpTic have got to find a big play, and they'll get nothing. These site anchors hold in towards the round. Loud's aggression on B is about to net him a whole bunch of information, but it might come through too late. Okay, less good in the corner for one. The pressure on pANcada. He doesn't stop, continues the aggression, and he'll get another. Full blinded up, eventually traded, but look at that. Saadhak with the flash, peek him right back out. The round is tied up in a neat little knot in one of the eco rounds. Yeah, great point.
You kind of got, I would almost give it to pANcada at this point, but hey, maybe I'm just a little bit biased.
Don't like the eco frags. I like this. aspas ready for the push from
Ooh,
Yay.
oh,
Maybe
no,
not so ready.
No, he's not.
I thought he was.
He was sort of ready, but I guess he slipped the net. Saadhak maybe giving some false information based on his position, and because of that, well, we've seen the early trade of the remaining players. We also have a huge opening on this side of the map. In fact, they've already pushed through it. He might not expect it. In fact, there's crashy with an instant headshot to open up this site. The remaining players, I don't know if they're going to expect this. It's a risk from Finesse, especially considering they're already in a 4 versus 3, but he'll get them some info and now fall back for the after plant.
Going about as well as they could early round, but you look at Loud, everything they've got to work with. Hunter's Fury going to be conserved for Finesse's lockdown. Same thing on the other side with Les having his. And then that actually thins out a lot of Loud's ability to entry in. There's going to be a reaction from OpTic. They're going to need to find duels. And with the players tucked on the site the way they are, with Killjoy utility helping them out, oh no, that's not what we wanted. Les is able to take a double. OpTic, big mistakes towards the end, leaving it all to crashies, and although he gets one, it's just not enough. The time, whilst it might be close, I don't think it's that close. The defuse coming through, and Loud, well, they found twice the smoke, but he's managed to avoid being taken down. They'll look to, I think, is this just a B main crunch?
It looks like they're just going to try and walk it. Les is sneaking his way through. This might be a nasty surprise. This is such an off angle, and he's basically just going to swing straight in. He dashes it to the face. Les gets 2, and more importantly, he's got so much information for his squad. They're waiting on the outside as well, just to almost play this one as a retake, because, well, you've just lost that many players. You might just back off.
I think it's the right call. The Hunter's Fury put blindly in. This opens the door completely. Finesse can now put down the lockdown, and that's exactly what he does.
Spike planted.
Attack does come through on the mark, so at least they get something for it. And a little bit of time delay isn't going to be the end of the world for Team Loud. They're happy to wait outside of this and push back in. But quite a bit to work with, actually. All of their utility essentially online thanks to the faster round from OpTic. The TP in yields a little bit of information. They don't yet know about crashies, but he has to go huge on this off angle, and they're smoking him off. His timing needs to be perfect on the way through, and they're even watching. Sacy ready for that play to happen. Marved goes down to the nade. Okay, 1 for crashies, but the defuse is underway, and he can't get a wall bang. pANcada was way ahead of that. Another